Serious. Autistic people of Reddit. What do you wish more people knew about autism? Attention. Serious. Tag notice. Jokes, puns, and off-topic comments are not permitted. https://www.reddit.com/r/askreddit/wiki/index #wiki rule6-. In any comment, parent or child. Parent comments that aren't from the target group will be removed, along with their child replies. Report comments that violate these rules. Posts that have few relevant answers within the first hour, and posts that are not appropriate for the serious tag will be removed. Consider doing an OMA request instead. Thanks for your cooperation and enjoy the discussion. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit /message/compose/ 2=/r/askreddit if you have any questions or concerns. It's kind of hard depending where an autistic person is on the spectrum. So for example, if you encounter an autistic person that has problems with socializing, don't consider them as this antisocial person who wants to be left alone, because they probably might want people to hang out with. They're just too shy when it comes to asking. And #XB. Or at least, that's what happened to me. Edit. I fell asleep and woke up to a lot of notifications. I saw some questions which are people asking for advice. It's with deep regret of mine to say that I'm actually not very good at giving advice and I'm very worried about wording something out wrong. Basically, I'm bad at answering questions. Laughing at me when I'm expressing happiness instantly makes me unhappy. I wish more people understood how terrified I, and possibly others, are that it will bar us from jobs, opportunities and relationships, a normal life minus because other people see us as lesser, as difficult / not worth managing or as broken. I feel like things are often harder just because people view me that way. It perpetuates itself. We have feelings, we have empathy. You don't look autistic is not a compliment. Telling us everyone is a little autistic doesn't help. Autistic kids grow into autistic adults. Just because we get better at not showing out autism doesn't mean we've grown out of it, as many people think. It just means we've been forced to hide part of ourselves to fit in, and oftentimes it comes at the cost of being able to fulfill all of our needs. Or hell, even just being ourselves. Edit. I don't want to do the typical thing and be like thanks for karma, so I figure I ought to share some helpful resources. The Aspergian is a really great website written by Aspies and other neurodivergent folk for Aspies and other types of ness. https://thespergian.com/. They have a lot of stuff relating to issues dealt with when you are on the spectrum as an adult in regards to symptoms, interaction, relationships, etc. And they also promote autistic artists as well. And special books by special kids. https://www.youtube.com/channel/4E98 is a really good channel with interviews with people of all abilities, including things like autism, and etc., as well as physical stuff too. It's a pretty great way to learn more about other people and how they want to be treated, as well as how they live their lives. A lot of people with autism show no outward signs of it. One of your friends, coworkers, etc. could be autistic and you'd never notice anything strange about them. Maybe they're a bit shy or awkward in certain settings, in my case group conversations, but nothing major. For those people, autism isn't necessarily a disability. As such, there would be no reason to treat them any differently than others even when you do find out they are on the spectrum. As a general rule of thumb, don't assume anything about an autistic person. Find out what they like and respond appropriately, Don't assume they have the same strengths/struggles as your autistic nephew or an autistic celebrity or whatever. Autism Speaks are the Peter of autism, and they spread a lot of lies about autism because those lies create fear and that fear earns them money. And #XB. Edit. Wow, my first gold. Thank you. Thanks for all the awards. Also my favorite video explaining why Autism Speaks sucks. https://m.youtube.com/watch v=s936r to f35u and t=185s. 99% of representations are absolute bullshit. If you really want to know how to deal with an autistic person, ask the autistic person. It's so easy. Something I wish my teachers knew when I was growing up: me avoiding eye contact doesn't mean I did whatever they accused me of, nor does it mean I don't feel sorry, and it's certainly not meant to be disrespectful. It's just that I don't do well with eye contact. Also, I know my social skills aren't the best, and I do try to work on them. But not telling me when I do something wrong and thinking the mere fact you're upset with me should lead me to realize what I did wrong and how to do it better instead of just telling me, isn't fucking helping. We don't look autistic, and telling us that is not a compliment. That most of us aren't the weirdos and incapacitated mumblers you usually think. And since it's a spectrum, I can only talk about myself since it's so different for every single other autist. In fact, I am really close to being considered normal, medically called neurotypical, which will be further addressed as NTS, but I do falter in my social interaction skills. Your basic ability to get subtle hints for okay, I'm going to leave the conversation, or I really don't know what you're talking about nor do I care, is my downfall. I really have to try hard to get these intricacies. It gets exhausting, and when I fail at it, I feel like crap. Oh yeah. Also I feel emotions at 11 times the strength as NT people's. So I feel anxiety way harder than a NT, like I barely make the first move or approach someone because to me, I think it looks super desperate and creepy. But there are plus sides. I do have a one-track mind for sure, so I can use that to cut the crap and get exactly what needs to be done finished. So then when I want to write music, I can just shoot music out my brain. I am learning drums, bass, and guitar, so I can write all of those. I just wish people knew / didn't think of autism as a disability. It's an effect sure, but not a disability completely. I try and change their perception by telling people I'm autistic, Asperger's syndrome. After a while in passing jokes, so they can see the funny in this effect. FFS my real name on PSN is Gran Autismo Sport. Anyways, have a good one and no, it's not bad to act a little autismo every once and again lol. Edit. 4K upvotes, 2 golds, 1 silver, and over 60 comments. Oh whoa, holy cow, thank you guys so much. You woo, this is a joke. Seriously though, thanks people, for serious this is my favorite day on Reddit. You all are awesome. It is genetic, not vaccination based. We are as diverse as neurotypicals, but simply our thinking pattern is a bit different. You don't recognize us on streets because autism doesn't affect our looks. You notice it once you start interacting with us, just like you wouldn't recognize a left-handed person until they start writing or doing other activities with their hand. Edit. Something I want to add: after reading a question about isn't autism by definition not normal, I replied to the person with this. The word autism comes from the Greek word autos, which means self. It describes conditions in which a person is removed from social interaction. In other words, he becomes an isolated self. Minus web and website. It's actually something I wanted to add to my original comment, is that people say we struggle socially. But no, we are fine being alone and lesser social. What we really struggle with are overstimulations, which are the causes for our meltdowns. I wish people knew how much different autism is on girls. Researches on this topic are just beginning to be made. I'm not from the US, and in my country there isn't any research being done nor available in our language. So far I've only found resources in English, so there is a lot of misinformation even between psychologists and other professionals. Every case is different. You can't just assume it's the same with every person. It feels like everyone thinks people like us are just all socially awkward, but it can be a lot more than that. For example, I have quite mild Asperger's syndrome, and to most people I seem like everyone else. But I've met people with more severe cases that can't even speak and need constant help. Never assume every person with autism is the same. We're not emotionless drones. If anything, we feel more emotion than the average person. Depending on the person, that will be shown more or less. Autism is a spectrum disorder and can be different for everyone. I'm fine with the internet generalizing this. I do it often too. Some people might not be fine with it, and that's okay. Acceptance is what we really want. Autistics don't have to redeem themselves. They don't have to be savants with incredible IQ, or masters of a certain skill. They are worthy of respect regardless. Just because I can act normal a lot of the time does not mean that my autism doesn't affect me. The majority of my time spent with others is literally an act, and it's extremely mentally exhausting and emotionally draining to the point that I have frequent meltdowns when I'm finally alone and able to be myself again. This world wasn't made for me or people like me. When I work in customer service, my bosses think I'm the perfect employee. I'm genuinely nice, always doing my best, a quick worker. They don't realize I had multiple panic attacks before work and that when I get off I'm so drained I go home and cry. It's so hard to keep up the act of being a normal human to the point that I don't know how much longer I can do this. Edit. I just wanna say I really did not expect this amount of replies to my comment, and reading all of them has helped me realize I'm not alone in this. I was under the impression I probably wouldn't do well anywhere, but I'm going to look into some of these other jobs that people recommend and hopefully I can get my life back. Subscribe, like and comment if you hate outros. Begging you to subscribe, like and comment.